Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for inviting me, and I apologize for not being here yesterday. I have a contribution today that is focused on a case for change of a highly regulated global multinational business, fast-moving consumer good business, where regulation and social pressures has set the case for a change of paradigm that is what we see as the future of our business going forward. A few information about my company. Philip Morris International is a global player. We're the #1 player in the world, selling our products in 180 markets. We hold a 28% share of the global cigarette industry, excluding China and the United States, where we're not present. We have 85,000 employees on board, and our revenues are approximately 20 billion euros, net of the excise tax and the VAT that we pay to the States. We're listed in the New York Stock Exchange. We're part of the Fortune 500, in spite of the fact that we do not have any business in the US. Philip Morris Italy is an affiliate of Philip Morris International. We are the leading player in the Italian market with a share that is close to 55%. We're approximately 1,000 people in the country. We have a commercial unit that is approximately 400 people and an industrial unit in Bologna that is manufacturing filters and is approximately employing 600 people. Our total revenue is 1.3 net of excise tax and VAT that would add something like 7.5 billion to the total turnover of the company on a yearly basis. The case for change in our industry was set back in 1999 by a significant change in the position of the company on the topic smoke and health. You know that our business is significantly impacting the health of plenty of people in the world consuming our products. And the change undertaken by a very courageous and visionary CEO who had just been appointed back then was very significant. From a point where smoking was damaging your health, but there were plenty of reasons to believe that the case was not very clear. The position of the company changed to the only cigarette that does not kill you is the one that you do not smoke. So it's a full endorsement of the responsibility of the damages caused by smoking that, of course, have led the company to a very different direction and a very different route than it had taken in the prior 100 years, more or less. Of course, when you take accountability and ownership for damages caused by your products to the health of the people, the first thing you have to ask yourself is, what can I do to prevent it or to improve the situation? And back then, the company started investing enormous resources to assess alternatives, to evaluate what kind of product could be developed and could be considered for in-market in alternative to conventional cigarettes. We call them already conventional. We knew by then that combustion is the vast majority of the responsibility of the health-related issues is related to combustion. And therefore, combustion was probably the focus of very much of the investments in research and development that were made by the company back then. And what we did, we created two big research hubs. One is in Neuchâtel and the other one is in Singapore. The company started to assess very many alternative avenues, recruiting scientists from any possible discipline. I think we have something like 29 in the research center. There are 400 scientists. We have been able to attract primary scientists from all over the world with focus on reduced harm and reduced risk for our products. We have registered by then approximately 1,000 patents, and we have 2,000 undergoing the registration. And for the first platform, that is the one I'm going to talk about today, we have invested approximately 2 billion euros in research and development. What is this platform I'm talking about referring to? It's one of the 4 platforms of the 4 directions that the company has taken to develop non-combustible products. We have divided the products into 2 groups. One is heat not burn, or products that are not burning tobacco, and the other one is nicotine delivery device. The first one and the second on the left side are products that are heated by a source that is not combusting the tobacco, the solid tobacco that still exists in the heat sticks that we're manufacturing. On the right side, the developments are going very much in the direction that you're probably familiar with. You have definitely seen it in your markets. It's nicotine delivery devices. They're called e-cigarettes or e-vapors by now. And this is an emerging market in very many angles and corners of the world. We have developed a great deal of science. We're very proud of sharing our science with the scientific community. We've created a website that's called PMI Science, where we have loaded all our scientific evidences and our studies generated in the last 15 years around non-combustion and reduced risk. We have assessed the quality and the performance of the products. We have a lot of evidences. We do not have epidemiologic studies because it is too early, but we have a lot of clinical evidences. This PMI PMI Science website is very important to us because it allows us to open a dialogue with the external community. Of course, there is a lot of skepticism about what tobacco industry can do to reduce the harm caused by its products. But we believe very much in what we're doing, and the route that we have taken, I believe it's going to pay back over time. Once we have decided we were ready with one product and we were ready to take it to the marketplace, the first decision we had to take was where do we manufacture it? Until then, within the R&D site, we had a robo manufacturing small quantities, and we had small machinery developed on purpose to test the development of these new generation products that were invented and registered by the R&D center. The decision was to invest in Europe. In Europe, we had a few countries where the investment would be potentially appropriate. And one of the countries that was taken into account from the beginning was Italy. The reason being the fact that we had already a manufacturing presence. The factory we have in Bologna, as I mentioned before, is a specialized factory on high technology filtration, and therefore the circumstances led the multinational organization to decide to invest in Italy for the construction of the greatest and the most important greenfield investment we have done in the last 15 years. That happens also to be the largest investment, greenfield investment in Italy of the last 25. The reasons to invest in Bologna are very few but very clear. The market for Philip Morris International, the Italian market, is very important, and therefore strengthening our presence in this market is of strategic importance. We had a manufacturing presence of which we're very happy with in Bologna. There is strong competence, technical and professional, in our organization in Bologna. In Bologna, there is a strong manufacturing competence for two industries that are very close to ours. One is the mechanical industries. We are heavily dependent from machinery, and the biomedical industry is also developing very fast in the same territory. And the ecosystem in the Emilia region is a super good ecosystem. Emilia is very strong in the quality of human resources. You find professional skills that you do not find elsewhere. Infrastructures, routes, transportation, logistic systems, and everything that works around an industrial plant is also very solid. And the administration, the public administration in Bologna, is very open to investment, not just domestic investment, but they've proved to be very, very attentive to international investments as well. And last but not least, in Bologna, we have an enabling technology that is very important for our business, that is the packaging industry. Yeah, packaging and primary transformation of tobacco, they have roots in Bologna and in the territory around it. And therefore, these 5 factors led the company to basically bring $500 million of investment in Bologna to build its first manufacturing facility for new generation products. We started with a small operation. Let's call it we call it a training center, because it is a miniature of what the big factory that I'm going to show you in the next slide is going to be. In this operation, we are testing the technology that were developed by our partners in packaging, in filter making, in making and packing of our products, and in transformation of tobacco. We are developing the first volume in this training center, and we're using this first volume to test market the product in a few markets. I'm going to talk about it in a second. Following to this, we have decided to basically build capacity and scale up our investment to make sure that once the demand is going to come, we're ready to supply it. Bologna was the location to host, identified to host this investment. The investment is a rather big one, as I said. It's €500 million in total. Its surface in square meter is approximately 70,000, so a huge facility. It will employ at the end, when the capacity will be fulfilled, approximately 600 people, and the installed capacity is 30 billion sticks. That is the equivalent of 5–6% of the total demand of conventional cigarettes in Europe. So it's a big investment. And we have started with a test market in Italy and in Japan. We started back in 2014 at the end of the year. Italy, Milano was the first market that we have approached with this new product. I'm going to show you the product in a minute. And the second city was Nagoya. Two very different markets, both very mature, both highly regulated, very restricted, with very limited marketing freedoms, where the states, of course, are incentivizing smokers to quit, and where products of new generation, so innovative products, had already proven to be quite of interest for consumers because e-cigarettes boomed back in 2012. By now, the two markets have joined, were joined by other markets. We are launching in Switzerland as I speak and in Portugal. So the footprint from a commercial point of view is expanding, and Japan, from the test city, is already expanding nationwide. In Italy, we're about to do it as well. The product we have taken to the market, we call it Heat Not Burn, is a tobacco stick very similar to a conventional cigarette, though designed in a pretty different way, that is heated by a heat source that is composed of a battery charger. We call it mobility kit. It's the big electronic device that you see standing, and a heater that is the one laying at the bottom of the slide on the left side. The heater is the heating source that heats tobacco from within. It generates an aerosol that conveys nicotine in the aerosol. It doesn't have combustion because the heat source is heating up to 300 degrees. Just to give you a reference, conventional cigarettes are burning at 850 degrees. So the tobacco is not combusted, there is no smoke, and therefore the aerosol is an aerosol that is not containing all the hazardous components generated by smoking in conventional smoke. Bologna is manufacturing the heat sticks, the one you see on the right, that we're commercializing under the leading brand of our company. It's called Marlboro. And the heat source and the electronic device is actually manufactured in Malaysia, where they have competencies that we do not have. That's not our core business, and therefore it is outsourced. Internally, just to show you one more detail of the heat source, there is a very sophisticated electronic chip that is controlling the temperature so that we do not have any risk that the product ends up into temperatures that are moving from heating to burning. This is a very sophisticated technology that was developed over the last 15 years, is patented by us, is covered by quite a number of IP, and we believe that this is our paradigm shift. It is so strong and it is so important that our vision going forward for the next 20, 30 years is to convert 100% of our conventional smokers into the new technology. We believe that the vision of reduced risk and reduced harm is a vision that is not just satisfying the expectations of states and regulators that are forcing, of course, consumers to quit, but it is also in demand by a growing number of smokers in the planet. And therefore, we're preparing. Our vision of success is to convert all of them, offering them products that are far less hazardous and far less risky than the one we have commercialized until now. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you.